Rand Paul is holding the federal government accountable before Trump gets into office, and Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy can do their government efficiency thing, the Department of Government Efficiency, where they start to trim off this fat from the budget. Now, it's a lot of people that's complaining. AOC, all of the liberals, MSNBC, people on CNN, that's sitting here telling you, well, listen. They know nothing about the government. Nothing is being wasted. We need to just pass these spending bills through, and we need to just keep the status quo. Don't worry about it. Run up the federal deficit, pay this interest rate, and we good. And they try to villainize Trump and Elon Musk for saying that we need to trim the fat. And then they use the same scare tactics to try to prevent people from doing the thing that's in their best interest. But you couldn't imagine the way that they spending over $1 trillion on waste. Let me give you a few examples, and then we're going to let Rand Paul explain.
Senator Rand Paul is out with his annual Festivus report on outrageous government waste. This year, the report lists $1 trillion of taxpayer money spent on some truly bizarre pet projects.
No, he didn't say 1 million. They didn't say 1 billion. They said $1 trillion. Trillion dollars.
Like $10,000 that was given to the Bearded Ladies Cabaret to fund ice skating shows about climate change. $32,000 was spent on breakdancing. Nearly $500,000 was spent to determine if lonely rats seek out cocaine more than happy rats. Another $2 million was paid for Paraguayan border security, because who needs a secure U.S. border anyway? $12 million to fund a pickleball complex in Las
If anybody ran their business like the way the federal government run their budget, they would be under the ground.
Vegas. $20 million to air a Sesame Street spinoff about inclusion and mutual respect, not here in the U.S., but in Iraq. And $10 billion on maintaining, leasing, and furnishing almost entirely empty buildings. Ghost towns on your dime. And all of this wasteful spending brings to mind this Trump tweet from 2014. He wrote, quote, "I hope we never find life on another planet, because if we do, there's no doubt that the United States will start sending them money." Hilarious tweet. Kennedy, I rarely give myself this much credit, but I am going to blow your mind away with this fact, courtesy of Google. We're talking about $1 trillion in government waste. If you were to spend $1 million every day, it would take you over 2,700 years to spend $1 trillion. That is how bloated government spending has become.
I want to go to Rand Paul, and I want to get his thoughts because he spoke on this extensively. Let's go over to Rand Paul and see what he has to say.
Joe Biden's wild spending spree exposed in Senator Rand Paul's 10th annual Festivus report, showing the more than $1 trillion in government waste. Making the list this year, of course, you got to have your Sesame Street show in Iraq, a multi-million-dollar pickleball complex in Las Vegas, a drag cabaret show on ice.
A drag cabaret show on ice. A drag cabaret show on ice.
And, of course, border security for ... Paraguay. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul joins us now. Senator, this is an annual list you do. You've got a lot of problems with government people, to quote Seinfeld further. How tough is it to target and find the entries on this list?
You know, I got a lot of problems with big spenders in both parties. And here's the thing. Everywhere you look, you find more of this stuff. $1 trillion. That means we found a lot of waste. But it's everywhere. It's in all the big departments, in the Department of State. It's in NIH. It's in the National Science Foundation. And people wonder, why does it exist every year? We have this Department of Doge. Are they going to be able to get rid of it? Well, the only way to get rid of it is to spend less money. So if you give the National Science Foundation $4 billion one year, and then you increase it to $8 billion, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that you're going to get more waste, not less. This has been going on since the 70s, but it has exploded. But you have to be willing to cut spending for the overall department. NIH will have more waste if you give them more money. They spent $3 million studying what kids do when they look at ads for food on Facebook.
How? How is that not money laundering? How is that not money laundering? They spent $3 million studying what kids do when they look at ads on Facebook. Seriously? Seriously. This is why y'all see so many scammers and schemers that's running around talking about getting government contracts. That's the new play. That has been the play for a long time. And I'm not saying that everybody is scheming or scamming or nothing like that, but that has been the play. Is, yo, all of the people that was talking about, hey man, just get you a bunch of doors in real estate. This is how you finesse the game. And then they fell off, and you don't hear nobody talking about real estate no more, except for me inside of the Bag Chasers. And then you seen a bunch of people saying, hey man, it's about the box trucks. You need to get in the trucking. I'm about to show you how to get in the trucking and run up a bag. And then they all disappeared, except for me. And then they start talking about this and that. And now the latest play is how you can get a government grant. Get a grant for this, get a grant for that, get a grant for this, get a grant for that. Hey man, I'm gonna show you how to be a grant writer. That's the biggest play right now. That is the biggest play right now, I'm telling you, until Trump gets in office. Because everything goes away unless you legitimately are doing things that add value to the federal government. That is what my prayer is that we get rid of all of these social services that taxpayer dollars is going through, that we get rid of all of these different research things to see what kids are doing when they see a Facebook ad. Your kids shouldn't even be on Facebook. Facebook is for older folk at this point. Facebook is for older folk at this point. Ain't nobody over there on Facebook except for people that's gossiping about the same thing that they was gossiping about when they was in high school. That's the only people that's on Facebook. It's people that's gossiping from high school. If you want to go to a class reunion, go to Facebook. You ain't even got to go. Hey, man, class reunion going up. All right, so let me go see what. Oh, they still talking about the same thing they was talking about 7 years ago. I'm straight. You want to see the sentiment of the people that you're going to run into at the class reunion, go to, I'm going to call it the Facebook, because that's how you know. That's how you know the people is old. Yeah, man. Are you on the Facebook? I was on the Facebook the other day. Ain't even no money over there. I ain't been able to find it. They done limited the amount of money that you can make. I ain't no uploads going on Facebook unless the Facebook figure out how to pay out content creators. Until then, you ain't gonna see me on no platform unless there's some money on it. Unless there's some money on it, it ain't no platform. Facebook is Gossip Girl Central. It's men and their femininity, and it's women that's complaining about what they baby mama done did. It's people that's changing their statuses every other week, because 1 week you in a relationship and next week it's complicated. It's people listen, Facebook is full of gossip girls, feminine men, and scammers that's trying to get you to buy something on Facebook Marketplace. And now some of y'all have gotten so desperate, you keep telling me about all of the women that you got, but you keep on being on Facebook dating. Yeah. You. I seen you. The same one that was in my chat, the same one that was talking tough online. You in Facebook dating marketplace. You in the Facebook marketplace on a date. You trying to meet chicks from Facebook marketplace, not even on Facebook dating. Keep on trying to sell them old shoes. Don't nobody want your little dusty shoes. Don't nobody want your shoes, dog. I see the same conversations from 5 and 6 years ago. Rita told me the other day, she said, I'm about to unfollow them. I went on there because I ain't been on there in about 3 months, and they saying the same thing that they were saying. Yeah, I ain't been on Facebook in about for the longest. Anyways, let's continue.
They had a whole bunch of kids look at ads for food on Facebook, and that was $3 million worth. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars to drill holes into cats' head, spin them around rapidly, and study motion sickness. Sounds more like animal cruelty than it actually sounds like an experiment. But the list goes on and on.
And that's not to mention, you have stolen COVID relief funds, $8 million. One guy from Florida did it to buy an island. You mentioned the cat. The list does go on and on, but you also alluded to this, Senator. Do you think your tradition ends this year? In other words, is this the year that DOJ eliminates the need for you to go through and make this list because they've done it over the course of the intervening 365 days?
Ultimately, it takes Congress. Congress has to get rid of the spending. DOJ can point out the spending problems and the waste the same way I've been pointing it out. But the reason it's not eliminated is they don't have the votes to get rid of the spending. So I am very hopeful that DOJ will draw attention to this the same way I've been drawing attention to it. But I'll give you an example. About a year ago, there was a chip spill, a bill to subsidize microchips, semiconductors.
Yep. And I talked about it here on the Millionaire Morning Show. And everybody said, Anton, you going too deep. I said, all right, well, we'll just keep it surface level so y'all don't want to know about the CHIPS Act.
In the United States. Well, in that bill, they doubled the size of the National Science Foundation.
Yep.
Now, the National Science Foundation is the one that's famous for doing a study on whether tequila or gin makes people more aggressive. So they fed fish, half of them tequila and the other half of the fish gin, and they decided which made the fish more aggressive. That's the National Science Foundation. Most of the terrible, wasteful projects, the crazy stuff and experiments going on is National Science Foundation. In the CHIPS bill, all the Democrats and half the Republicans voted to double the size of the National Science Foundation. So why is there more waste? Because the idiots in Congress keep giving them more money.
Well, it will.
Listen, man, it's all BS. It's all nonsense. January 20th can't get here fast enough. Some people is a little scared because they think that TikTok is going away. I don't know if it's going away or not. I don't really care about TikTok, but yeah, man, it's all bad. The government is wasting y'all money. They throw a lot of this stuff inside of these bills that y'all don't read, and then they let y'all give y'all the summary view, and y'all say, yeah, we should support that. Meanwhile, they feeding fish gin and tequila. Somebody said that they got off of all social media. It's all social engineering. I have this thing in my mind that I say that if I wasn't a content creator, I wouldn't be participating on social media. I was one of the last people that I know that even got on Instagram. I was one of the last people that I know that even got on Instagram because I didn't see the value in it. Not until I could find a way for me to connect with people more effectively on YouTube or something like that I get on Instagram and start posting. I'm not gonna be on no platform just for the sake of being on it. I got this thing in my mind that if I wasn't a content creator, then I wouldn't be in any way, shape, or form be participating on social media. I honestly believe that in my heart. Because if it ain't no money in it, or I can't figure out how to generate more revenue or something like that from it, then I could just be living in my own little world. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got Facebook, but y'all not on and you ain't got no LinkedIn profile, that's a problem. If you have Facebook, but you don't have a LinkedIn profile, that is a problem. In my opinion. If you on IG posting pictures, but you don't have a LinkedIn profile, that's a problem. And I heard a lot of y'all, hey man, listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I heard of this a lot of people that's on LinkedIn trying to link up with chicks on LinkedIn now.